Yep.
Oh, shit.
Hello, we're live. It's Tuesday. We're late as usual. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Ought to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds-eating bastard. Look
like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No.
You utensil player a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead.
Nothing spectacular, really.
How are you doing, lads?
All right. I'm all right.
Yeah. You sure? Everything's plugged in and
grand.
Everything's grand, yeah?
Yeah, not bad at all, mate. Not bad at all. How are you?
Good. I'm great. I'm absolutely great. Thanks very much for asking. Even better after the result of the weekend. Fantastic performance, but we'll get into that soon enough. Gilly, I'm more interested in what the crack is with the old predictions, if that's all right. But hold on. Where?
I beat you to it, and then you
Ought to know better predictions.
Like fucking clockwork.
Yes.
We we all got 1 point. Just to make it dead straightforward. Everybody got 1 point. Nobody went 3-0, which is not that much of a surprise, given that in our entire history we have never ever had 3-0s on the bounce. So yeah, not really a surprise, but I'll be interested to know if anybody's going to go 3-0 for the next game. So just to run through it quickly, the fans are on 15, Karl, you're on 23, Smarty on 24, Jay on 26, Luke on 29, Bren on 31, and myself on 34.
There you go. It's hotting up now. I'm only 20. I'm only 19 points behind.
Only 1 point behind Smarty.
We're getting there.
Yeah. At least I'm ahead of the fans by a nice margin. I'm not going to.
I mean, by some distance. I mean, to be fair, Luke and Jay have both really turned it around over the course of the past couple of months. Jay was rock bottom and got 15 points out of 15.
Yeah.
And Luke was kind of averaging behind you and Smarty, and now he's well in front of you, I'm afraid.
Yeah. I think like Jay didn't put any of those bets on at all, did he, for any of those 3-0s? Or those wins that he got, like, which is, I don't know, man. I think maybe go for it if you're that confident and you're on a run like that. Start betting on it, like, but bet responsibly.
When the fun stops, stop.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Speaking of betting, do you two remember when that dodgy betting company contacted us and tried getting us to like?
Yeah.
Do you remember? And then they went under within like this. Within about
20 minutes.
Like the next
we weren't
day.
sure, were we? We weren't sure, and then we were just gone.
They're gone. Thrashed it all out in the night and gone. Yeah, look, the fans need to book it up a bit now. So I'd nearly have a chat between yourselves there who you're going to nominate to maybe give a prediction this week, because first come, first serve doesn't seem to be working. So look, we'll nice one for that, Gilly. We'll keep an eye on that one. I went 3-1, unfortunately.
We were so close. We were so close.
So close. So yeah, we'll see what the crack is now at the end of this for the Preston game later on. We'll get into Cardiff for a little bit, Gilly, or Luke rather. What do you think? What's your overall thoughts on the game?
For me, Karl, I think it was an all-round professional performance, and exactly what we needed away from home at this stage of the season. Really, we've not been great on the road, and I think Farker for himself really, as well as us as a team, and for the points tally and everything else that goes with a win, but. I think Farker needed that a little bit. You know, he was getting questioned a lot back on his away form, and you know we don't have a great history. I think they've still won loads more than we have down at Cardiff, head to head. I think over both venues, but yeah, they're a tough team to play. Cardiff, and you know it's not a nice place to go. I went there in the cup last season when we scraped a draw in the last minute. I think Sonny Perkins got an equaliser in the last minute, and yeah, it's not a nice place to go. It's quite intimidating. I mean, it's not Ninian Park, you know what I mean? It's not what it used to be, but it's still not. Cardiff isn't a nice place. The Welsh hate the English, and yeah, it's an intimidating place to go as a football fan, I feel. But look, from start to finish, we pretty much controlled it, didn't we? We didn't really ever look like losing that game, dare I say. We took the foot off the gas when we needed to. We controlled the tempo. We slowed play down, and I think that came from having Ampadu and Gruev in there, having two fielders who both do the same job in central midfield, but Ampadu actually playing slightly deeper because we weren't under much pressure from their front line. We almost had two players who could conduct and almost be a bit of a quarterback, shall we say, in terms of American football. But yeah, it was very, very easy for us. I don't think they ever really looked like score. Well, they had a couple of breaks early on, but yeah, I didn't ever feel like we were going to lose that one after kick-off. At the kick-off, when Paddy Bamford ran straight into their centre back, I just knew we were up for it.
Yeah, it started off quite well and continued at that pace. I think you're right in what you were saying. Like, we did control the game from start to finish, essentially. Let's be honest. But I always get that. That's why I went 3-1. I always get that sense that it's Cardiff, you know, and like you were saying, it's not Ninian Park, but it's still a horrible place to go. Like, they hate us down there for whatever reason. Like, you know what I mean? Gilly, who did you think was a standout player? I've a couple in mind, to be fair.
I think it's a really difficult one on the basis that, as Luke said, it was a really professional performance. I didn't think there were any one particular standout player. I think the one that you would probably talk about, given his passing, the accuracy of his passing and so on, would probably be Gruev. I think that needs to be tempered with a real big mistake he made early on that against a decent opposition we get punished for. That were a loose pass. But we got away with it, and actually what he did was he took that and turned that into, right, okay, I'm not going to make another mistake. And he pretty much didn't. I think that and one other are the only passes that he got wrong all match. It was one of the highest pass completion rates we've seen. So I think, but it's difficult because, I mean, I think if you look at Jimmy, I think that was one of his, I don't want to say poorer games. He was involved and he did some good stuff. But if you looked at his touch, he wasn't quite at it. Obviously, missed the penalty. So the one that sticks out actually is from a negative context because he set the bar so high this season. He wasn't quite there. But I think calling out Gruev and Ampadu, I mean, Ampadu, for me, he's still my player of the season so far. And he just seems to be in control all the time. And for what is a relatively young player, just to be in control like that, it takes some doing, especially, and I know that we expect him to be comfortable at centre-back because he's played at centre-back quite a lot, but to be moved and shunted around in the way that he is, you know, he's asked to fill in at full-back when the full-backs get forward and he's playing in midfield. Him and Rodon just looked imperious. They looked like nothing was going to get near them. So I think calling it a professional performance is right, but I think at the same time, there probably wasn't a particular standout player for me overall.
Yeah, I tend to agree, but I'd look at the likes of, like you said, Gruev, and I thought Bamford's performance overall on Saturday was it was so good to see him in that form again. You know, I'm not saying he's completely back or he's anything like that, whatever the case may be, but I think to see him playing like that again, he adds a different dimension to our play whenever he's up front, because the players in the midfield know that they can get the ball to him and he will hold it up and he will bring players into the game. And it showed a lot that I think maybe that could be, people go, oh, Farke hasn't got a plan B. Maybe changing our style to the hold-up play of Bamford is a plan B rather than kind of shuffling around the whole formation.
Get 6 strikers on the pitch at once.
yeah. But just put Bamford up there and be like, right, okay, hold the ball up. Let's slow the tempo down in the final third when we're trying to, overload in certain areas. You can do that for us. And it looks like it could be a good plan B. With that in mind, Luke, do you think Strike is going to struggle now to get back in the side? Because Fark, as we've seen, doesn't like to change a winning team, does he?
No, I mean it's a nice conundrum to have, isn't it? To be in a position where we can actually line up completely differently, and I think the lineup for me against Cardiff is probably the way we should line up against teams that are likely to sit back a little bit more. I think Strike obviously offers a lot more defensively in terms of size and power and everything else, from set pieces and whatever else. When we're playing a team where we might be on the back foot quite a bit, where it's a bit more end to end and teams might actually come at us. But in terms of games away from home, I think almost having an additional midfielder, if you like, in Ampadu, although he played centre back, he was so good start to finish. I watched him and I was literally trying to focus on him as much as I could. He was literally pointing and telling where players to go, and he was literally conducting the whole squad, the other 9 players in front of him. And one thing I did notice as well was between him and Rodon. I don't know if this is a Welsh connection or what, but they seemed to know that when the balls came over the top, one of them would almost drop as a sweeper. And all the other one had to do was get something on it, and they knew it was going to drop back to the other one. It was so intelligent, and it worked really well. It just gave us possession back every time. So yeah, I think although Struijk is probably our captain, although I know Ampadu captain us this week, I think Struijk is now the new vice captain. I'm led to believe now Luke's gone. So again, it's difficult. It's really difficult because I thought Ampadu. The 2 times he's captained us, he's had his best 2 performances for us, and at centre back, arguably. So, really, really tough one, but a nice one to have. Does he struggle to get back in? I think Gruev would be really hard done to pull him out of that team after last week. I think it would be really harsh. I don't think Struijk's going to be 100% fit anyway, so I think we will still line up the way we did last week, in fairness. But I think when we got a fully fit squad, I couldn't answer it, mate. It's a flip of a coin for me.
Do you think?
I know that we're going to go through comments, but just because you've touched on it, Luke, because you've mentioned it, Skip says, would you say Grove's performance against Cardiff in CDM is better than any Ampadu's performance in that position?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I think his passing range is better than Ampadu's, although Ampadu's got a couple of good assists this season with his long balls and things. I just thought Gruev looked to go forward more often than what Ampadu did. I think they're very similar, but they've got the differences and enough of a difference to make different impacts on games. And I think that's probably why I say Ampadu behind Gruev is probably better for teams that sit back, because it gives us that additional midfielder and that additional, deep line playmaker, if you like, but who can break up play as well. So yeah, I don't think it. I would probably say that they've both had similar levels of performances. You touched on it earlier. Gruev made a mistake early on, but if that's all he's remembered by, then it's neither here nor there. Because that performance was absolutely outstanding. When you look at the actual figures, I think he had a 97% pass accuracy, which is the highest we've had in a game since 2012-13, I believe, or somewhere
since
around
Opta stats began.
Yeah. So I mean, it's incredible. It's an incredible number, and they weren't just little tippy taps and passing it back to the back, to the centre backs and the full backs. Some of them were absolute heat seekers. Do you know what I mean? They were going. It was incredible. It was incredible, which is why I think it'd be hard done to lose his place. However, obviously, as I say, I don't think Struijk will be at full fitness, and we'll come on to the Preston game in a bit and our team. So I think we probably do look to line up the same.
Do you think having two ball playing like good ball playing players playing Ampadu behind Gruev is kind of if it fails with Gruev for the kind of neat, tidy passes in the midfield to get it forward, then it's on Ampadu to find that kind of nice long ball over the top, perhaps, and maybe that's kind of a tactic that he's looking at the minute, playing it that way.
Potentially, yeah, but it's nice to have two, one behind another, that can both do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's nice because Ampadu will know where Gruev wants the ball if he's passing it into him, because that's his natural position. But also, if Gruev does receive it and he is under a lot of pressure, it's just a little short pass back to Ampadu, who can see everything in front of him. If Gruev's with back to goal, he can just lay it off Ampadu, and Ampadu. We saw it at the weekend, didn't we? I think Ampadu found was it Jimmy on the left wing. And he went through. I can't remember, but yeah, we saw it a couple of times that actually those two almost did the same role as well. And we saw Gruev dropping in centre back when Ampadu did get a little bit further forward. So yeah, worked really well for me.
Good. Gilly, just to touch on Jorginho, I don't know why the fucker is over in the Alps or wherever the hell he is. Like, because
God knows. I don't know he's insured for that.
This is the thing. He best not be skiing or snowboarding. Like this is.
Well, it looked like it.
Lunatic.
Well, did you not see the emoji? Was a skiing fella?
Yeah, but he better not be doing it. He better be just pretending, like, because fuck me. So yeah, just about Jorginho now. Do you think he's settled into that number 10 role now, and essentially it's between Bamford and Pirro for the upfront spot now?
So I'd just started. So just a comment from Paul Brennan. Jorginho seems to be playing well in number 10. I don't know how much of that is just him dropping a bit deeper, because he were kind of playing false nine anyway, wasn't it? Because if you think Pirro and Ruta were interchanging, Ruta were dropping deep anyway. So I don't know how much of it is that, and how much of it is that dynamic of playing behind a 9 that occupies at least one, if not two, centre backs, that gives Ruta that space. So he's not just dropping a bit deeper; he's dropping a bit deeper, and all of a sudden he's got all of this time. And he's getting on the ball, and Somerville's making a run, James is making a run, Nonto's making a run. They're pacey wingers, so they're pulling the fullbacks out. There were another comment made. I can't see it now, but there was another comment made about Bamford where he'd made a run for the corner. The centre backs tracked him, and all of a sudden we just had loads of space in the centre. So it feels to me like, especially while he's scoring, I think Bamford's played his way into the side, and he's had a lot of shit over the past few weeks, including after scoring the goal during the game. He's had a lot of sticks saying he's just not good enough, but he's a player that we've seen. Once he's scored a goal, he's going to get another few. So you play him until he stops again, but even when he's not, he has that impact on the game, and I think that's a big benefit to Rutter as well, is just the amount of space that he creates in behind.
Yeah, it's actually nice to see it coming together a little bit there, where we're focusing on someone up front who can not. This is no slight on Pirro now by any means, because he hasn't had the opportunity really. But just the type of number 9 that we need in that formation. For me, I think Bamford is that type of number 9. Where he will influence the game. And like you said, with Jorginho dropping a little deeper, Gilly, that means Bamford doesn't have to drop as much, because his role is a little bit different to what it was previously with Pirro and Jorginho. So I think it's a lot of positives. Do you think he's definitely going to stick with that team now for Sunday?
I think so. If that's to me, I think so. I think having done that away from home, and as you said, we've seen that he doesn't really like to change a winning team. I think unless he's forced into it through somebody not being quite fit or picked up a knock or had a kick, as they would have said before, or whatever. I do expect it to be pretty much the same starting 11. I certainly think it'll be the same shape. So if Bamford's fit, I think he plays, and therefore I think that kind of dictates what happens further back. As Luke said, we don't really expect Struijk or Cooper to be fully fit anyway, because Struijk wasn't even on the bench, worry, and so I think it would be difficult for any of them to come straight back into the starting lineup, which to me says it's going to be Ampadu in the middle of defence with Rodon, which means it's going to be Gruev in front of him, which means it's probably going to be Kamara alongside him, unless you see a change at fullback and maybe Archie in the middle. But I suspect we'll see pretty much the same team.
I think the only change we might see at fullback, just quickly, I know Firpo went off with a bit of a thigh strain or something, didn't he? Was it a
dead leg?
So we might see Byram coming back in for me. That might be the
Yeah.
only change, which in turn would
so.
obviously probably suggest that Archie will be playing right back.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy that we've got this conundrum now, where obviously Ampadu has slotted in at centre back seamlessly. Even though, I know he has played there previously, but his favourite position is obviously the centre of the midfield. But it's going to have a knock-on effect on Strike as well, right? In the sense that with the options we had up front, it gave Bamford that little bit extra time to come back and be fitter and not be rushed back. Maybe it'll be the same for Strike, because he only had a hernia operation there before Christmas, which he came back about 2 weeks after. Not human, in my opinion. So there's definitely a lot of positives to take from how we're playing and the players in positions at the moment, I think.
Isn't it refreshing actually having a squad? It's nice.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
How long did we have one midfielder for? Because you'd have Calvin pretty much running midfield on his own, and then he'd get injured and Forshaw would come back, and he were made of biscuit, so he'd last 6 games. They'd get Phillips back in when he went out. Just it is nice that we've got a gaffer that's got some options, even if it's frustrating that he doesn't take them very often. Including his subs.
Yeah, one other thing I just wanted to say about the game, Karl. I don't know if you're going to move on. Was around the press and how different that looks with Paddy playing up top. We saw Dan James lead it a couple of times and trigger the press, and we also saw Somerville even do it as well. So when they trust the 9 knows what he's doing in that situation, and when we force the press, it's almost like there's a little bit of confidence, I suppose, that actually they all know where they're going to be moving, and they all know where to move in terms of the press when we trigger it. So and it worked really well. We made them make all sorts of mistakes. They look really bad at the back, but I think we made them look that bad.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
they're in the appalling side.
Yeah, I think they were worse at home than when they came to our place.
I don't know how they got a point at our place.
No, I don't either, man. I think, look, we've put it down to that August month, you know what I mean? The turmoil we were kind of in at the time. You take that month out of it, wasn't there a table put out recently enough? I think, Gilly, you might have shared it on the pod, where it was just basically, if you take August out of the season, we'd be pretty much top by about 4 or 5 points, So it's like,
I think the one that I shared, I think we were second, but we're only second by 2. But I do remember somebody else shared it. It wasn't me. Somebody else shared it. But you're right. We were clear. If you cut it off at a certain point, we were clear. I mean, you'd have to take the points off the other teams that gained them when we were shit. But yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. For me, it's just we had that madness at the start of the season, and we always said that was something that we were going to need to overcome. I think we're still only 7 points off second place. So, we're not a million miles away. And, I think if you look at the form that the players are in now and how much they're enjoying the football. I mean, you look at Rutter, the great thing about him is just how much he enjoys playing football. It's great watching somebody enjoy playing football. But Paddy being fit and firing in the way that he is now, Somerville being on the form that he's on, it's break. It's break. It's great.
Yeah, it is great, man. It's nice to have who do you pick problems for a change.
It is,
isn't it? Yeah. It's like I've noticed, we're the fans we're starting to enjoy it a little bit more, I think, now, because we had a year and a half of absolute heartache and all sorts of crack, and just to see the players actually enjoying it as well. Like when Rutter goes on a mad one after celebrating, he celebrates like he scored every goal the way he goes mental. You swear every goal he scored or we scored was him, and that's how he loses his mind. I absolutely love it, man. I think it's class.
And fair play for that celebration as well.
Yeah, the A-League celebration was fantastic. Yeah. Fair play to him. He's really started to buy into the club since he started playing football for, I want to say, a consistent period of time where he hasn't to deal with where he hasn't to deal with 3 managers, like, you know what I mean?
He has to love it. He was on the bench, obviously, at Peterborough, and he was running that up and down right next to where we were. And I was shouting him, and he was just like giggling like a school kid at me. Like, do you know what I mean? I was shouting. I was going, "Don't be shy, George." And he was going like a naughty school kid. Such a good character.
Brilliant.
Another character that we haven't really mentioned who had another really good game. Somebody else, Karl. I don't know if you wanted to take the lead on it, but we've just had a bit of news today.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Archie Gray signed a new long-term contract with the club.
Do we know how long?
The Athletic have reported it because when I were looking at Graham had put an update on, and there were a couple of other journals that had retweeted it. The Athletic are reporting it's till 2028.
That's not a bad shout. Sign him down. Tie him down. Big time. No, going nowhere. So that's fantastic news. That's like a new signing in the transfer window. So that's all good.
Yeah, man. And look, there's no other. Well, there is. There's a few others, but he really deserves it. And he said, I listened to his interview while I was in the bath before we come on here, actually, and he's just so modest and like everything that I wasn't at 17. He's just such a likable, nice young man. Like, you'd actually love him to go out with your daughter. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was the absolute opposite, and he was like, it's another dream come true. He said, to sign another contract with the team that I've supported since I was a kid and got connection. So it was such a good interview. It was only short; it's only about 3 minutes long, but you could tell how much he loves it and how much it means to him. And he's just a real nice kid. And I think people are probably going to suggest that they've done this to pull the wool over people's eyes, and maybe because we've not signed anybody and things like that. But it's not. It's tying down a talented youngster to the club for the next 4 years. 4.5 years, I think it is. So yeah. I mean, signings will come, I believe. But I'm more than happy with this news over another signing. I would rather have taken this news than signing somebody today. I would have preferred. If you'd have asked me before the window if Archie Gray was going to leave, because there was obviously talk and there was whispers around 40-50 million, I think was rumoured from Liverpool and some other clubs. I would rather have signed Archie Gray to a long-term contract than sign anybody. You're muted, Karl.
It's like Zoom and lockdown all over again.
Karl, is your nose white?
No, it's fucking huge.
The end of your nose looks really white.
Got the moon on the end of it there.
Is it just the light?
I didn't know you'd been if you'd been to the bathroom just to powder it a bit.
How's that? It looks all right there.
That's better. Yeah, sit back.
Yeah, just be further away from us so we can't see you as well.
Yeah. So, thanks, lads. Appreciate that. Nice one for the heads up. I'll go for next time. Anyway, let's move swiftly along to...
Hey, has got a shit tick this week, my little spat of fact.
I'm sorry. I know Brent doesn't come on the pod, but that is a serious contribution to the pod. I'm sorry. That's absolutely fantastic. I love it.
I've got your graphic ready to go if you want me to pop it up.
I've got it sorted there now as well. So the new section, as you can tell, is Shit Dick of the Week. So every week we kind of look around the internet or whatever the case may be that we've seen over the course of the week that we think is a shit take, generally in relation to Leeds United. Gilly, what is this week's shit take?
So, I'll read out.
This guy is a proper bell end, by the way.
Let's read it out.
He is a proper knobhead.
For the audio listeners.
On the bench,
but he's a knobhead in general.
Oh, yeah, he's a knobhead in general. Perot on the bench, Bamford as centre forward is just disrespectful and horrible player management. Just like Cresswell, it seems if you piss Barker off, he'll make your life misery, even to the detriment of the team. Barker the fraud. We're not having any of that, are we?
Detriment to the team. We won 3 on the bounce, not conceded, and scored 9 goals since Barker played.
I genuinely don't know what. I don't know. I'll have whatever he's smoking, please. Because
that's Liverpool fan, guys. Yeah, I think it's been common knowledge that he.
Is he a Liverpool fan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So he still maintains he's not. But
right,
and it's corporate AK for anybody that's listening and hasn't seen the graphic. He maintains that he's not. But he would after tickets, and people had screenshots of him after tickets for Liverpool games and whatever else. So you make your own mind up on that one.
Yeah, well, I think that is possibly after the praise we've just handed out talking about Cardiff, we can pretty much say that is the shit take of the week, because there's absolutely no sense put into that tweet whatsoever. He clearly watched it with his eyes closed and his ears plugged, because anyone with half a brain would know that is completely... that he's a fraud, man. Get him off. He's a fraud, that guy. Absolute fraud.
The fraud thing, I really don't get, because we are flying. Like, do you know what I mean? We are actually. If it wasn't for two anomalies this season of teams actually breaking the records for every other season in the Championship ever, we'd be top of the league. Like, do you know what I mean? We're not, and I get that. I'm not an idiot. Do you know what I mean? We're fourth, sorry, even. But we're not doing bad. Like, and when you consider the absolute mess that he inherited, like, you know, props to him, man, and he's managed players well. He's managed Willie well. You know, let Sinistera and Adams go because they didn't want to be here, pretty much. Jed, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? He's managed it well, and the players we've brought in under his tutelage, a lot of them have improved.
Yeah, can't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all either. I think, as I say, the proof's in the pudding, and look, we're flying at the moment. No one expected this, considering how last season ended.
Even if it's 1-0 down against Sunderland at the weekend, they still managed to get a 2-1 result. You know, I spoke to my mate, said they were lucky to get that result. This luck has got to run out at some point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This luck has just got to run out. Like, there's got to be a time where actually the luck goes the other way and it goes against them, you know. But I've been saying that all season, in fairness, and we're 26 games in now. So, fingers crossed. Anyway.
Yeah, well, look, it could, like we were saying
Leicester's
earlier,
looks to be running out a little bit, though.
Yeah,
they're banking at Coventry.
Yeah, they did. They went down to 10 men.
I saw 14 points clear of us.
They play Ipswich next as well.
Yeah,
tomorrow night or next Monday.
Monday, is it?
Yeah, Leicester went
Why
down.
Would it be a Wednesday night, Carl?
Sorry, I've absolutely.
You thought it was next Sunday already?
Like, is this not B&C? No.
No, because you won't be on it, Dodger.
No, I would be. I'm on it again Sunday. It's Smarty. It's covering for you, isn't he?
Yes.
Look, shit take of the week is that guy. If we had an award and we could post it out to him, we probably wouldn't, because that's a stupid fucking take. And so nice one. We'll move on. I just want to touch on transfers, potential transfers and whatnot before we go on to Preston and whatnot. There's been a few rumours of a lad from Burnley apparently on his way over. I don't know how true that is, but I wanted to touch on the Archie Gray thing when we were talking this. So yeah, you've kind of... No.
I'm just stalling, Carl, because you hadn't done your preparations. So I was just stalling. I was keeping the audience engaged because you'd forgot to do the shit take of the week.
We did do shit take of the week,
and then I did it for you anyway. Yeah, but you're not going to be prepped.
Come on,
I didn't.
No, I didn't have it prepped. No, I didn't even know if that was even. You know,
we've shown the man behind the curtain now, haven't we? We've broken the fourth wall.
Shit. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's my bad. So transfers. Couple that we've been linked with. I think that lad from that Joe was on about. Is it Harambe? Is it?
From Hammerby.
Yeah. I think that's gone by the wayside. We haven't really heard anything from that since. But there's a lad from. What's the lad from Burnley? The right back, is it from
Connor
Burnley?
Roberts?
That's the one. There's talk of him coming over as well, but don't know how true it is. I was listening to the Phil Hay podcast today, and they were just asking him what's the story with it, and he still seems to be even in the dark at the moment as to what the hell's going on.
I tell you what, they do.
But that
they do the
wacko
business
1919
quietly,
guy,
They do.
yeah.
That is one thing we have
that
learned.
wacko
Like,
1919.
One thing we have
Go
learned is how different the 49ers are to the previous owners, because, chalk and cheese. Rads was on Twitter saying, "Welcome to the club," to bloody Diang, one here was it Diang? Diang. And then he turned around and signed for somebody else. And then, and the 49ers...
He didn't even do that, did he? Because he failed his medical,
that's right.
Shafted us off. He failed his medical and didn't get a move at all. The dickhead.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
What I wouldn't do is worry too much. I think if we needed something, I think I'm going to repeat what Joe said actually to me, because I believe it. And what I think is we've got number one targets in particular positions and roles, and to get them, we're going to wait out as long as possible, because there's obviously dominoes have got to fall around and think other things have got to happen, and people have got to bring players in to let players go out. Now, as soon as we need one, as a matter of urgency, that's when I feel we'll pull the plug, and that's what I think Joe said, or something along them lines. But as it is, because we actually not in any mad rush for anybody, we've got backup in positions at the moment, and we've got until the end of the target until then, and hoping, because hypothetically speaking, say hypothetically Connor Roberts is our for number one target. Or even Nico Williams is, do you know what I mean, from Forest. We might have Nico Williams our top target. Actually, they might say no, and then actually say yeah, but we'd already got Connor Roberts, then we wouldn't get our top target. Do you see what I mean? Do you see there's a bit of method to the madness?
Yeah, no,
I'm sure
for us, isn't it?
It is frustrating, but I'm sure that the recruitment team, I trust them a lot more than the previous recruitment team. So I think we've just got to be patient, and as Leeds fans, we aren't patient. We're not a patient bunch. So yeah, I think just sit tight, and I think as things generally move forward, there's been a couple of teasers as well. Like there was a 2:00 teaser at the weekend, came out in the afternoon, a 7:00 the other night. So the tweets are timed. You know what I mean, for people who've got notifications on. So I think I certainly think there's something brewing, but who and what we'll see. I've seen somebody as well earlier on mention, I think it was Jay Michaels actually, long-term fan of us, fan of the podcast. There we go. Ryan Sessegnon on loan could be a good signing.
Did hear
absolutely
that as well.
Class player, but he's just so injury prone.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson's another one we've been linked with, and the only reason I remember his name is because I watched the sprinter. Were it the '88 Olympics when he turned up again, and he couldn't beat Carl Lewis, and he turned up and he was this enormous monster of a man because he'd had the anabolic steroids going, and he was just unreal, and that's why I remember the name. But we're linked with him as well.
I think there was talk of him going elsewhere though today. I've seen.
There's people, agent. This is where agents make the money, in it, drumming up interest and getting getting clubs into a bidding war. And I think you are right. Is the one thing that we need to be conscious of is it's not likely that we're going to know any of them until they actually happen. Which actually, that's no bad thing, is it?
No, it was the same thing all summer as well, which was quite nice. We didn't know anything at all, really. Like the Ampadu rumor started about 3 or 4 days before he actually signed. So that I prefer doing that.
Let me ask you: are either of you worried about the state of the current squad?
No.
So I'm not either. I mean, generally speaking, because it's transfer season, a lot of people think you should be signing players. Full stop. Now, if you're happy with the squad you've got, we've got 1 or 2 injuries. Could we do with another centre back at the moment and a full back either side? Probably, because we know Byram's made of biscuits. We know Firpo's not that resilient. We know
Aylin's gone.
Shaq's been out. Aylin's gone. Jed Spencer's gone. So
gone.
Let's be honest. We could do.
And by the way,
players.
Can we just mention fuck him?
Yeah,
because if that's true, just fuck him.
Yeah. Not turning up to a fucking pathetic.
So I mean, I'm happy with the squad as it stands, but I think another centre back, another left or right back, either or, because we can obviously shift either side. I would like a left back who can play left back, to be fair, because we look so good with Firpo in the team, and he's not even a good left back. So imagine if we had a good left back with a left foot, how good we'd be. You know what I mean? So Sessegnon, great shout, but again, he's very injury prone. I've seen his injury record. It looked absolutely fucking woeful earlier when I saw that. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's
that bad. Like,
yeah, it's bad. I'll try and get it up in a minute when we have a chat. But yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? Like, we don't want to be signing people for signing's sake, because we'll end up with a Jed Spence. I'd rather get somebody who's gets it and wants to be here and is here for the right reasons, rather than and who can improve the team almost immediately. You don't want to bring somebody in just to sit on the bench, really, do you? You want somebody who can improve that already starting 11. So yeah, I think centre back for me, left or right back, and then another attacking player. So either a 9 or a 10, preferably a 9 for me, because we know Bamford's not going to play football season. Although we've got Pirro who can go in there, but he's a completely different animal to Bamford. He's not going to give you. For me, the reason we've struggled in the games that those two have played when it hasn't worked. So it works against teams like Ipswich. It works against teams like Watford, who came at us. It worked against a lot of teams, but the teams that sit back, it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because Jorginho Rutter doesn't do as a 9 what Paddy Bamford does. Simple as that. And on the flip side of that, Pirro can't do what Rutter does at the 10. And it's very, very simple, and it's as simple as that. So what we need is somebody else who can do a little bit more of what Paddy does. Somebody who can move defenders around, just find a bit of space and pull players out of position, and that to give the wingers and whoever's playing in the 10 a little bit more space and room.
So we're going to sign Harry Kane as cover for Paddy Bamford, you're saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't have Harry Kane, mate. It's flying though, isn't it? By the way, he's flying in Germany. Yeah. But maybe I tell you, I wouldn't mind. I tell you, I wouldn't mind the lad from Coventry, O'Hare. He's only got 6 months left of his contract. Played number 10 for him the other day. He was brilliant. I watched him against Leicester. I watched him a few times. He's always looked really, really good this season. I would love him, but I can't see us getting him. I think 6 months left on his contract. They're probably going to tie him down to a long term, and he'll be playing in the Premier League regardless next year. I'm not sure who under, but somebody like that, somebody of that ilk. Pritchard, maybe. I mentioned him a few times from Sunderland. I think he's at now.
He is, yeah.
Somebody
he's
like
been
that.
Instrumental for them, though.
Yeah, just somebody of can Pablo Hernandez type player. I keep mentioning that, and they're not easy to find because Pablo Hernandez is a 1 in a million. Actually, Pablo Hernandez. Did anybody see the Leeds thing this week? Yeah. Pablo Hernandez, 22-year-old Pablo Hernandez.
Got sent down, hasn't he?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I'd still have him in midfield. I'm not panicking about this transfer. What do you call it? Transfer window. Transfer window just yet. If we pick up a couple of injuries, have a couple of bad performances, I'll probably change my mind on that quite drastically. But as it stands, off the back of 3 wins at 3-0, what is there to be stressed about at the minute?
Yeah. See, the other thing as well that I was having a chat with a lad in work as well is like as much as people want us to buy players and sign players, we don't want to be panic buying and filling our squad up with top of the table championship players when we need to be able to spend money in the Premier League to improve the squad, So we need to be very careful in this January window that when we do bring someone in, that it's going to be someone of a certain quality that we know can make that step up or who has previously made that step up. So we just need to be careful with what we're doing. We need to fill the squad with players that are going to be able to turn it on in the Premier League and add a few bits to it, and that's how we should go about it. That's why I'm not stressing about at the moment. It's just it's
Yeah, I've just found Sessegnon's injury record because I know we said it was bad, but it is really bad. So he, how old is he? He is 23, and he's had surgery on his hamstrings. He's had 3 hamstrings injuries. One left him out for 134 days, 131, and one for 139 days. Then he's had surgery. It looks like he's missed around about 30, 40, 70, 90, 80. About 100 games since 2018-19 through injury at 23-year-old. And that's just
2.5 seasons.
Yeah. But look, on his day, absolutely class. I remember him playing for Fulham before Spurs signed him, and he was brilliant. But,
he was fantastic at Fulham.
Yeah, but do we really want to be bringing somebody else who's potentially going to be sat on, on the treatment table? Look, we don't get paid enough to make those decisions, and if he comes, I'm sure he'll do a full fitness test with what's his name?
Rob Price.
Rob Price, and we'll be able to sort of determine whether or not he's going to be worth the risk. But he's certainly the caliber of player I think we should be going for.
Yeah, I agree. But just one that, like Gilly likes to say, isn't made of biscuits. Sound well. If anyone else in the comments, Russ, if you're watching and you usually have some scoops that you can put in the comments there that we might not have mentioned, or anyone else, if you've heard of anyone, let us know in the comments. We'll certainly pop the comment up.
It's a slightly worrying comment there, just as you mentioned the comments. Dallas got knocked out, Renee. I'm hoping that's a team in Dallas and not Stewie D.
I think that's the NFL, isn't it? Yeah. They got absolutely pumped by Green Bay.
Dallas Cowboys, got beaten by the cheese boys.
Just because I did a double take. Dallas got what?
Yeah, imagine that. He's only back from injury, gets knocked up. Okay. Right, so we'll move along anyway. We'll start with
a few of these comments.
Oh, we can do, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
go for it, man.
Let's do it through.
Go for it.
Paul said earlier on, Gruev's best match in Leeds shirt, not even debatable, is it? He was fantastic. Arguably one of the best midfield performances I've seen for a long time. I've seen Ampadu have a good couple this season, but probably looking back to Calvin type performances, I think the way he's spraying the ball around and that. And it's they were, but you're going to be what's in front of you. I think he's on about Cardiff, how shit Cardiff were there. Bryn says, I've just lost my comments. Oh, there we go. Bryn says, nearly our best 11. That only concerned Firpo defensively. I'd agree with that. I've been a big advocate of Junior Firpo's attacking football and said, look, in this league with the squad we've got, Junior Firpo will be fine because we shouldn't have to do all that much defending. But even against the shit teams, he looks poor defensively, doesn't he? Like, he's just not a defender. He's a wing back. And you can see by his positioning. But going forward, absolutely no issues, has he? I think he's had about 3 or 4 assists in the last 2 or 3 games, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done well. Yeah. We've seen him get forward and we've seen him do well on the ball. In fact, he's got a decent delivery on him as well, which I'd not seen before. He's
took that free kick, didn't he?
As well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no concerns there. I think defensively, if you were going to put him up against a winger that can go either way and he's pacey, then he's going to come unstuck at times against him.
That's when you play Byron, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you play the team where you're going to be going forward a lot, then you probably play Junior, and then you can rest. You can rest Byron in those games, and then you can bring Byron back in for your Leicesters and your teams that are going to come at you a little bit more. So nice thing to have. Paul Brennan, Ampadu to me should be captain. Young man that seems to have fitted into Leeds United well and gets what Leeds United Football Club is all about. Anything to say on that, Karl?
I wouldn't be too rash to overlook other people, but he's certainly proved his leadership qualities in the last 3 games. I think when Cooper goes, I think it'll be a fight between him and Strike as to who's going to be captain, I think. But at the moment, I think obviously give it to the more
who do you think could win in a fight?
I think Strike could kill him. Like the size of Strike, like.
Yeah, but I think Pascal's
he's
too
a bit
nice.
Passive, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he'd be like a
very
little
nice
bit.
guy.
Please don't fight me.
Yeah, but if they're going fighting,
sorry, hang on, Karl, hang on. Give us that again, Luke.
Please don't fight me. I don't know what accent it is. It's like a bit French, a bit Belgian, a bit German.
Dutch. Yeah. It was closer to Belgian this time anyway than the last time you tried doing it.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know where he's from. He's a mongrel, isn't he? But yeah, look, it's good to have. It's something we speak about quite sort of not quite passionately, in it, because as Leeds fans, we want passion. We want people who get Leeds. And we're worried. We're worried whenever somebody with leadership qualities leaves the club. Now with Luke leaving, and Ampadu stepping in, and then we've got Stroik stepping in as captain. It's nice to see these younger players coming through with what the coach and what the management team see as good leadership, good leaders. Because they're not easy to find, and a lot of it is natural. Like, you're born a leader rather than actually learning. You can read as many books and do as many podcasts and whatever you want about leadership, but some people are just natural leaders.
Yeah.
So it is nice to see some younger lads taking that baton for me. Next one, Charlie Hunter. Evening, Charlie, mate. Evening, lads. Great pod as always, keeping me entertained whilst out on a walk. Nice to hear. Nice to hear you keeping fit, Charlie.
Yeah, no, it's not at all, actually. And the reason that he said that is because he's out walking while I'm on here and we're in an Apple Watch competition together. And last night was the first night of it, and we both maxed it. So he's just telling me there that he's out getting steps in and getting his calorie count up while I'm sat here on my ass talking to you guys.
Right.
Do
you know what
Charlie?
I thought
Good
about
on
doing
you,
earlier?
Charlie.
And this is a true story. Do you know what I thought about doing earlier? And I just have these mad things that go through my head sometimes. And I thought about buying a Kestrel and just taking it for a walk, because you can actually...
All right, Kez.
No, it's a true story. Yeah, no, pretty much like Kez, but you buy them trained, and they have recalls, so you can literally just let it fly around you while you go for a long walk, and you take it for a walk, and then it just comes swooping.
Hey, up, Billy Casper.
Or eat chuffed that trained him. But I did.
I spit on the Indrandi.
Do you know I generally had that idea made?
I said, should they face a forest spit on the Indrandi?
Oh, right, okay. Jesus, I thought that was Welsh there for a minute.
But Charlie goes on to say, anyway, forget about me, Luke and his Kestrel. Nice to see Gruev getting more involved, but Ampadu still the best CDM for me.
Sorry, but you're reading that out then when I replaced it with that.
Yeah, it's all right. I've got it on the side. Can tell Luke's from Wakey. Yeah, he can, Bryn. Wakefield. Got me season ticket for the rugby league as well, by the way, next season. Paul Brennan again. Evening, Paul. It bodes well for Leeds that Patrick is scoring again, 3-3, and the lad is smiling. That is really important, isn't it? Again, he seems to have his positive attitude again. We've seen what a positive and a confident Patrick Bamford can do with that goal alone at Peterborough, with the hat trick against, was it Villa? Was it Villa? Yeah, it was Villa, wasn't it, when he plucked it out from his feet a couple of seasons ago? So we know what he's capable of. A lot of people have written him off, and it's nice to see him silencing him, though. But it's also nice to see him silencing him the right way, with his feet and scoring goals, rather than coming over and shushing the whatever stand or whatever. If he really did that anyway. But anyway, moving on. Bryn again. Kamara fancies it. We win. Games we've slipped up, he's been off the boil. That's not an observation I'd made, actually. Don't know about you two.
No, not really. I think because I like to see Archie in there, and I think that Kamara's played quite well for us. But my favourite midfield pairing is Ampadu and Gray. So I think everybody in midfield available, he don't start for me. So what does that tell you? I don't dislike him as a player. I think he's a decent player, and I think he's put in some good performances. But I want to see Gray back in midfield.
It's not bad though when we've got our third and fourth choice by your standards playing in a 3-0 win away from home. Against the side we've traditionally struggled against, in a place we've traditionally struggled in. Yeah. Absolutely. Spot on.
It's
go on, sorry.
Yeah.
Carl.
I was just going to say, I kind of, there's one or two games where I could kind of say that I agree with Bryn, but I don't think we've lost those games. He's just been poor in certain areas of the play, like. But I get what he's saying.
Just in general, you don't like agreeing with Bryn.
I'm not disagreeing with them, but I'm not fully agreeing with them. So
I just said you don't like it. I didn't say you disagree with it. Just you don't like it. Nobody likes agreeing with Bryn.
Fair enough. We can move on now quickly.
Not many more to get through. Charlie says Bamford 9, Geordie 10 in the next few games for me. Pirro off the bench, likely to be more effective, a game changer than Bamford coming on. Yeah, completely agree. Pirro is a good finisher. He's almost a modern day poacher. He's a modern day Alan Shearer type player, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? But because the game's so much different now, he's just not as open, that he's not getting as many goals. He's still scored 9 league goals this season, so he's not doing tragically. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we've paid this money for somebody who's not made any impact. But look, he's the style that we currently play doesn't suit him at 10 or 9 really. So yeah, coming off the bench, I think probably is going to be the best option when we do play. Maybe 2 up top would suit him. If we had 2 2 strikers, maybe him playing off somebody would work a lot better for him when we're potentially chasing a game or chasing a result. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's a nice option for Fark to have. I think he could rotate them depending on how, if Bamford's kind of lagging a bit, he can always bring in Pirro for 60 minutes and bring Paddy on, vice versa. I think it's a good option for us to have at the minute. But to say that, like, it's difficult to say that Pirro is better off the bench because Paddy was still coming back from injury and he wasn't really getting in positions that we're seeing him in now. So I think both could be very effective off the bench. And again, it's just a nice headache for Fark to have, I think.
Paddy's not effective off the bench, though, is he?
But we don't know that because, like...
we do. We've seen him off the bench a few times.
Yeah,
but he's not had any impact. It takes Paddy a while to get into a game for me.
Well, I think it was just down to fitness, really, rather than... he's been out for how long? Like your sharpness isn't there, fitness. You're kind of, could be a lot of things playing on it, but I think he can still be that effective one. Like,
just considering that, actually, how many times have we seen a fit Bamford coming off the bench? Because usually when he's fit, he's started. Yeah, and when he's been coming off the bench, he's not been fit. So
he's coming back from an injury or whatever.
Yeah. So it's difficult both ways round. I've not seen much of Pirro coming off the bench. But he's not been given much of a chance coming off the bench. I think the bigger thing for me is whether he'll be given an opportunity in the 9 if he comes off the bench.
Yes,
because if he does, then people are going to be really interested to see how that dynamic works, especially if Rutter's in the 10, which is what a lot of people wanted to see, and Farke were having none of it at all. So that'll be interesting to see if that actually happened.
Yeah, I think that's, and it was telling to suggest when who did we play when he came off the bench? Pirro, and he went straight up to 9 and left Georgie in the 10. It was 2 or 3 games. I can't remember, bloody hell. But anyway, yeah, it was telling. And I agree. I would rather see Pirro coming off the bench. It might have been.
Yeah.
Next one, Skip. Why have we brought Pirro in if he doesn't fit Farke's play? Maybe a panic buy. I don't think it was a panic buy. Still, as I said before, he's got 9 goals this season playing in a system that doesn't really suit him. I mean, it's not tragic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I still think we had other first choices, and I think this goes back to how I said how I think we're going to be doing transfer business. I think we had Archer and I forget the other guy's name, that were our priorities, but both of those moved on. I think Archer went to Sheffield United, and the other lad I've forgotten, completely gone blank, whoever it was, and then Pirro was our third choice, and because those dominoes had fallen, we had to get a striker in at that time. Well, I mean, he's been playing 10, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
He wasn't Gyökeres because we all wanted him.
No,
but he wasn't really realistic.
And he's been linked for 100 million to Chelsea.
I was going to say that earlier. Yeah, they offered 50, and then Sporting said they wanted 100 million, or don't come calling.
Jesus Christ!
We nearly got him for 12.
Pecan New here. Have we seen Pecan before? Nice to meet you, Pecan. I don't recognise that name.
No, I don't think so.
Welcome to the channel. Man. Pecan, make sure you do subscribe and like if you are a first-time visitor. With every one count, every little helps. I don't know. Anyway, his hold-up play is better than Pirro's. Pirro just isn't that type of player to get out. I mean, he can get a shot off quickly, and he's got a correct shooting accuracy, but he's a completely different striker to Bamford in here. And look, we can talk about the differences all night long. That last game of the season at Ellen Road could be a monster. We've got Southampton at home, haven't we?
Yeah. That's going to be big.
Could be.
Imagine going all season unbeaten.
Well, yeah.
All season unbeaten at Ellen Road. Southampton at home to see who goes up with Leicester. I'd be shitting myself.
I don't want any of that. I mean, that's effectively a playoff, and we know how that goes.
Yeah, fair news. Yeah.
Hopefully, Leicester's wheels fall off completely. They don't pick up another point. Southampton are already up, and we're already in second. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's perfect. I like that.
Just be a party game at the end of the season.
I like the sound of that. We'll play Preston that again, like we did against Derby.
Yeah.
Roland Buttonubs, our friend from the US of A. How you doing, mate? Ampadu competent at the back. Gruev a competent replacement in midfield. Still need a left back or right back or both, I think. So yeah. Spot on. We've already talked about that. Great. That is all the Stad comments.
No, it's not. Just one more. Jammy's got an offer for our listener base. Do you want to read that out, Luke?
Jesus Christ. We want them to subscribe, Jammy, not leave.
Yeah, the lads got a bit of a nude earlier because I said, where are you, lads? And I was in the bath, so I sent them a picture. I blurred it all out, obviously. The lads didn't need to see that. And I said, Karl said, you got 6 minutes. And I said, well, it takes me 6 minutes to wash my old man. So I will be late. So that's the reason we're late tonight. I was washing my bits.
That's washing my bits.
Danny Wright says, hi, lads. Hope you've dried your eyes now from those humpback whales, Luke. Yeah, last night I was a bit emotional. It was Blue Monday, wasn't it, yesterday? And I was watching a documentary. I think it was on Sky Nature or something. And a humpback whale got caught in a fishing net. And I was like tears in my eyes because it got freed from the nets. And it just was like thanking him. It came over to thank him and that. It was fucking beautiful.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Nice.
You're getting me off again.
You're such a teddy bear. Someone give him a cuddle.
Yeah.
And I just saw that's it for the comments for now, I think, guys. So you feel free to do what you want to do now, Karl. Now I've taken over.
Sound. We'll just go on to Preston now on Sunday. Sunday at 12 p.m. Why do the football gods hate us? Like, because they're doing that, and then the week following, then we've got this monster trekking around to do. Like Swansea, is it Bristol, and then Plymouth? Is it?
Sky TV, you fucking shit.
Well,
Swansea.
there is that.
Have we got Swansea after Preston, have we?
Norwich.
Luke.
No, we got Norwich. Yeah,
me.
Norwich, and then Plymouth.
Norwich at home, though.
Yeah, 3 home games on the way on the bounce.
Yeah, we don't have Swansea for a while, do we?
No, I don't know what he's on about.
Bristol after
no,
that.
but after these games, isn't it? We've got like 3 monsters
so after
away.
that, no, and then after that, yeah, and then after that, we've got Swansea. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That was
so
close.
we have got them at some point this season, Karl, if that's what you mean.
True. That is true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, sweet. Okay, fair enough. Thanks, lads. Appreciate it.
So just as we move on to Preston, I just saw this earlier and thought that was quite interesting. Just the odds of us winning, the win probability, if you take Sky Bet's view of it, is 73.4% for us to win, 9.5% for Preston to win.
Step up Leeds United.
Preston.
And it's been less than a month since they beat us.
And it's Leeds United. Yeah, I was at Preston, mate, Boxing Day. Fucking tragic performance. You know what I mean? It was horrible. It was proper shite. Yeah, I was steaming though, so I didn't really care. But
we're back in the white kit as well on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't see them causing us much issues at home. To be honest, I think we're a different animal, aren't we? And we look. I mean, if we're basing it on the last away game and you know the options available to us, I think we might have turned over a new leaf with regards to our away form, because that was a proper away performance. So yeah, I don't have any worries for Sunday. I don't think they've got that one winger that stood out. I think Archie had his work. Archie had his worst game for us that I've seen him have against them, because he was a really good player. But I think he was their only good player, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, negate him, and I think it's a completely different ball game.
Yeah, I like to think that we've kind of taken a step forward since Boxing Day, and just in the right direction. Like 3 wins on the bounce there now is kind of, if that doesn't give you confidence going into your next game, then you need something wrong with you there. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah. I'm confident enough now with Sunday that it'll be another 3 points. But again, do you think is it placing pressure on us? Because I think we play after everyone else.
The pressure's always going to be on us, Carl, because we're the favourites to win. Like probably 95% of the games this season, we're our favourites in almost every game we go into. So the pressure is always on us anyway. I think the lads have shown that they can deal with that, and certainly they can at Ellen Road. But the record speaks for itself. And yeah, I can't say anything other than a Leeds win this weekend.
Yeah, well, Leicester and Ipswich play that.
Saying that, I just seen. So I was just. So I'd already had a look at who Preston had played recently. I mean, they got battered by Chelsea, but it's an anomalous tie, isn't it? But they did beat Bristol City 2-0. And that is Bristol City that are currently beating West Ham in the cup. So
did they beat Bristol at Bristol though?
No, it was at home.
Yeah.
Right.
It was at Preston. So, it's a difficult one. I think I was frustrated by that performance by Gray against Miller because it was very much like Jack Clark in that they've got one trick, but we just let them do it against us every time. It's like he's always going to feint to go left, cutting on the right, and that's how he scored his goal. Yeah. And it's like,
great finish, by the way.
Come on, guys. It was a great finish. You can't take that away from him, but it feels like it was eminently defendable, and we just
hang on.
short
The pressure's not on us anyway, Carl. Based on your
yeah, I was just saying that before Gilly started.
Are you all right?
Me, I'm fine. Man.
Yes.
I was just going to say it there, but I didn't want to interrupt Gilly because he was starting to talk. So
no, I'm on about. Are you all right?
Yeah, fine.
We play Swansea, but we play last as well. You're just off your head, you.
It makes a change, I guess. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, Ipswich or Leicester and Ipswich on Monday night as well. So
that'll be mouth-watering, Ty.
That will be a great game, I'd say.
What are you hoping?
It'll be really, really nice to watch. If we've taken the 3 points,
do we want Leicester to win that?
No, let's just we want Leicester to win it. So let's catch second place. Like let's just deal with that.
I think that's the prerogative, isn't it? Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
That is the objective. I don't think it's Ipswich that we need to worry about in the fullness of time. I think it's Southampton and Leicester that are in the driving seat now at the moment. Albeit Leicester seem to be struggling at the moment. Coventry did do a number on them, and they are losing a number of players to the African Cup of Nations. So it's almost like, well, we want them all to lose. And then actually, do you think, well, a draw only hands out 2 points instead of 3? So is that the best result for us? It's difficult, isn't it? We just got to concentrate on those.
Because Leicester is so clear, I don't think it makes more of a difference to us in the immediate that Ipswich drop points rather than Leicester. So yeah, I get it. Do you think we go with the same lineup, Carl?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think he changes that at all, regardless of who's back from injury or anything like that. I think he just goes, sound, the team.
Do you think it's like for like if Firpo has still got a dead leg and Byram just comes back in?
Yeah, I don't think he changes the way we played on Sunday, because it was probably the most attacking and complete performance that we've seen away from home, certainly. But I'd even nearly go as far as at home as well. Sometimes I think, I think it's one of those games where everyone's really confident going into it, and I hope that confidence is matched by the team on the pitch.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's the way I'll be looking at it. Yeah. We talked about the danger man there. There's not really, like, I didn't think they were very good when we played them on Boxing Day. I thought they were average. Like, I think we were so bad we made them look half decent.
Yeah.
So I can't see that happening again. Farke would, like, I'd imagine Farke lost his absolute mind with them after a performance like that. So
and it's probably a benefit that we're playing them so soon, because it'll almost be fresh as to how they line up and how they played against us. They just old manned us a bit, didn't they? It was a poor game to watch, to be fair.
Yeah, wasn't great, no. And even though you were there, you didn't see much of it by all accounts. So yeah, Gilly, you got tickets for Sunday? You going? Oh no, I'm not on the home brew, Iran. I've run out of home brew. No, I've run out of homebrew, so I've more brewing anyway. It's fine. I never really run out. I just have to wait a little while. Special brew. I brewed during lockdown. I brewed a 7.8% double strength IPA. What?
Karl is getting hammered in his comment.
Homegrown.
I assume she's talking about Archie and it's homegrown players.
Yeah.
Yes,
So, yeah.
that's it. Yeah. Yeah,
Owen's come on to concur that corporate AK is a bell sniff. Thanks for the support. Yeah, he is a knobhead. We get some predictions or what?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going on to next. But I'm getting hammered in.
Auto know better predictions.
And then you're getting cut off by that as well. Sorry, Karl.
Yeah, fun times here, you know. Right, so
Gilly has to go first.
Just before, I'm happy with that. So just before we get into it, though, you did say that the fans might want to do a little bit of talk amongst themselves and nominate somebody because at the moment it's just not going particularly well.
John Garside's already got it in.
Is he we need to know: is everyone else in the chat okay with 4-0?
He was first one after we put the graphic up, so that's how it works.
Okay.
It is as it's always gone. So I've got mine written down, and I'm going 3-1. Luke, out of the three of us here, you're next.
3-0.
4 in a row. I'm assuming you mean to lead.
Yeah. So no, it's Leeds.
Karl?
I'm going to go 2-0.
I'm glad you've stopped being such a pussy saying that you're not going to play anymore.
Karl's in the wacky warehouse.
What the fuck is the wacky warehouse? Oh,
it's the wacky backy warehouse, Karl.
Who did you say? Sorry, was it John Garside that you'd said?
It was John Garside, 4-0 Leeds.
And what's he gone with? 4-0.
Just quickly,
I've not seen Smarty RJ in the comments, so I'll get theirs from our pod chat.
Yeah, just quickly before you move on and while you're jotting those down, Danny Wright's asked. Oh, sorry, whoever was putting that up. Danny Wright's just asked. I haven't seen this. Did Pooper cut? Did Cooper put on his Instagram that he's leaving at the end of the season, or has someone just suggested it's likely one of them where it flashes up but then disappears?
I've not seen it.
I've not.
All Liam Cooper has tweeted is something that we had in the brand anyway, but Bryn's mentioned as well, is he's congratulated Snoddy on a brilliant career as Robert Snodgrass. After 20 years of playing professional football, I've officially retired and decided to call it a day and hang the boots up. A little lad from the East End of Glasgow got to live his childhood dream for 20 years, playing at 10 great clubs.
I once went to a Halloween party with Snodgrass.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were you dressed as him by any chance and just looking in the mirror?
How have you never mentioned that before? That was far better than your Hal Robson.
I have mentioned it before, actually. I've mentioned it before. It was with. Do you remember Andy Robinson, little bald fella who used to play for us on the wing?
Yeah.
Little Scouse bloke. It was at his house in Leeds when I was at uni in Horsforth, and I went to uni with Andy Robinson's nephew. So we used to go to the odd game. That's how we got tickets for Histon, actually. And yeah, basically ended up at a house Halloween party with a few of the Leeds squad from then. I think Delph was there.
Jesus.
Yeah, a few of them Housen, I think, maybe as well. Bradley Johnson.
What did you go dressed as?
God, I can't even bloody remember. Probably something shit. I was a student.
What are you going as dressed as in your next fancy dress party?
I don't know if anyone's going to be watching this. Not any of my friends that are going, but I am going.
Giving it away.
Yeah, no, they know we're going in fancy dress.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, I'm going as Lloyd Christmas. I don't think any of them watch this, any of my right proper mates anyway, because they don't really care.
Pull over. No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing.
Some of the old devil's dandruff.
Samsonite. I was way off. I fucking love that line.
Mark. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna get right to character as well, man. Honestly, I've even bought some a little thing of black tooth lacquer to make it look like I've chipped my front tooth because he's got a chipped
The
tooth,
whole-
hasn't he?
Yeah, that'd be very funny, man. Where can people expect to see gallivanting around dressed up like absolute knobheads?
We're not going anywhere. We've just rented like a big fucking barn thing, like where we're all staying over for the weekend. So should be a good weekend.
Cool.
I'm ready to get absolutely bollocksed.
Good.
For
Good.
a change.
Yeah,
I sound that, man.
You've
For
just
a
got over
change.
Christmas, have you?
Yeah.
Oh man. Lads, so if has anyone else got anything they'd like to say? Do we have any updated Andy's Man Club, lads?
We did have something. Is it this
we
one?
did, but we didn't have a graphic, did we?
Not that one. Is it that one? Sunday the 21st?
No, it's not.
No, that's Christmas.
We did get a message, so if I just pick my phone.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make it last minute there. I was about to hit the...
So what you're saying is, Carl, you didn't prepare for this show at all.
You didn't do that either. We did have a graphic, but you didn't download it. So Sunday the 21st of January is Walk and Talk at Middleton Park. So meeting outside Middleton Pro Visitors Centre Cafe for 11 a.m. Friday the 26th is Pool Night at Northern Snooker, Kirkstall Road. And Sunday the 28th is Barber Club at W2 Barbers on Easterly Road. Come down, get your haircut, or just have a chat. Pay as you feel. All proceeds to AMC.
So this one was right then.
That was right.
Oh shit!
Yeah, oh shit, no.
Anybody got a what you call it?
I'll be there
And
Sunday
Danny from
to show
Nal-
off my...
Go on.
Oh, sorry.
No, just saying Danny from Nalp, and you were reading it out. Go on.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Danny from None Other Leeds pod. I'll be there Sunday to show off my breakdancing moves to make friends. Oh, all right, okay, you got the game. Excellent, excellent. We'll see you there in 3D.
Do you think do you think that's a typo? He's just saying male friends, isn't he? He's just a nice guy.
He's just a sound.
He's a lovely man.
He is. He's not the worst.
Does anybody have an auto no bitter?
Just normal men.
Yeah,
I kind of did, but got it off my chest early on because it would have been about Jed Spence.
yeah. Could see that coming.
What about Messi winning the fucking Player of the Year?
Ahead of Haaland. Yeah, he won it ahead of Haaland. Not mad.
It's just a popularity contest.
And he didn't even go to accept it. Thierry Henry went up to accept it.
I did see that, actually. I didn't see whose award it was. I did see, because he had a dig at Spurs, didn't he? I don't think because you're a Spurs fan and you don't know what to do with trophies or whatever he said.
I like that. So it's on Sunday for BNC. It's myself and Schmarty, because obviously we've heard that Luke's going to be in an absolute state on Sunday, so not able to attend. But look, thanks for joining us tonight. Giddy, nice one. Luke, good man.
I'm just going to add one picture in just to take us out on. Is just our current right back with our former right back. Yeah, how was this for a picture?
Oh Jesus, it's that Archie, is it?
It is.
Oh my God!
Brilliant.
Did you ever see the video? Did you ever see the video, the promo for the season, one of the seasons, and Archie Gray's footballer? That was really good.
They're up beast and ill, aren't they?
That's right.
Legends. Yeah.
Kick the ball around.
Brilliant.
That's quality.
Wicked.
Luke, are you all right? Anything to say before we go?
Nope, but I still might buy a Kestrel.
Okay. Well, I hope you get a Kestrel, man. If it makes you smile, buy whatever you want. Giddy, we'll catch you later, man.
See you in a bit, pal.